will enter. Weber came in as a defensive replacement yesterday, did not get a plate appearance. So Dylan Weber to pinch hit. See if he can keep the streak alive for the bottom of the order. The 7, 8, 9 hitters are now 3 for 3 with 3 walks, 1 hit by pitch, and 6 runs scored. That's 2/3 of their run output as a team from the bottom third of the lineup. And Weber stings one foul down the third base line.
Yeah, he didn't get a hit in the regional. He only had 3 at bats, I think, but during the regular season, he hit .286 in the regular season. So, but when the bottom of your order is doing that, man, it's going to be tough.
Presumably Weber will stay in to catch. We'll see. Strikes out as Leitner picks up his second K. 1 gone in the 5th. Look at Leitner. He slid into home last inning, was tagged out, and got the remnants of that slide on his left elbow.
Wow.
Ouch.
Yes.
That's his throwing arm. I imagine there weren't too many times in the big leagues that you threw with your right elbow bleeding.
No, never.
Powers, can he become 3 for 3? Not on that cut.
Very few times you ever wanted to slide in the big leagues as a pitcher.
You were often told not to.
Do not slide.
This one flown high to right center. And it's Pratt and Bridges converging. Center fielder J.B. Bridges makes the catch for the second out. Did you ever slide in your major league career?
I'm sure I did at some point, but no, we worked. No, we worked on it in spring training. We'd work on sliding, but we actually did it. It was we would put it was like a slip and slide we used to learn how to slide. So
that's amazing.
Just
that sounds fun.
Just so we wouldn't get hurt.
You're ready to play ultimate frisbee. I can tell.
I'm ready to try it. Tomorrow morning.
Let's do it. The 1-0 pitch. Little looper towards short. It's going to fall down. And great speed by Thomas. Beats it out at first. Not much Hancock could do with that one.
Yeah, there's not much you can do with that. Cued it off the end of the bat, and he's playing back. So you see here, just stuck in the ground, but he was playing so far back he had to come up and get it, and by that time Thomas is so quick he'd already beat that out.
Thomas, his first hit to go along with a walk and a hit by a pitch. He's on base for the third time. If I would have told you that Louisiana would have 9 runs, 8 hits, and Stephen Klein would not be involved in any of that scoring after yesterday, what would you have said?
I wouldn't believe you for sure.
Ron Franklin, who drove in 4 yesterday, has a couple RBI today. Gavin Freeman has driven in a run. Nick Lorio, who's on deck, a couple hits and a couple RBI as well. I think one question going forward is, does this Louisiana team have any weaknesses? Runners both go, and they'll take second and third. A couple of steals. Bourgeois and Thomas move along. And first base is open. The count 3-1 to Freeman with Lorio on deck.
And I think that caught the pitcher off guard. I think it caught me off guard. You know, 9-0 lead, but he was not paying attention to him at all. And
I got to say, this Louisiana team, it's not going against the unwritten rules, I would say, because they are purposefully trying to get to the 10-run mark to avoid having to pitch the 6th and the 7th inning.
Absolutely.
Playing the game as it's written. Here's a 3-1 and a hard shot foul. Look out. Colby Bourgeois illustrating why you're always taught to lead in foul ground from the third base bag. If the ball were to hit you, it'd be a foul ball as opposed to an out.
An out, yes. And going back to what you were just saying, I'm not sure how many pitches Cook. Just trying to remember what he had going to break.
He's at 79 right now.
So right there, that would put him, 80. Then he goes to 81. Then he's got to wait 4 days. And right now he's stuck where he's got to wait 3 days and he could come back. So what, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, so he could come back for the championship if they were able to make it on Tuesday.
Shot is snared on the fly by Martin at third. A laser line drive from Freeman, but Martin snags it. We go to the last of the 5th. The American Legion World Series as part of Summer of Next is brought to you by the American Legion, celebrating 100 years of service to our veterans. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Miralax, it works with the water in your body to unblock your system naturally. Louisiana with a 9-0 lead makes a pitching change, keeping Corey Cook under that threshold of 80 pitches, and Stephen Klein moves from first base to the mound. He was clutch in the regional to help this Destrehan, Louisiana Cardinals squad get to Shelby.
Yeah, not only can he hit, he can also pitch, and he throws a lot of strikes. He'll throw a fastball and a curveball, and he'll throw that breaking ball anytime in the count. So he puts some good innings and eats up some innings for this team.
He pitched 6+ in Game 15, the final game, winner take all at the Southeast Regional against Troy, Alabama, post 70. 6 shutout innings, got into a little trouble in the 7th before T.J. Thomas relieved and closed it out. And of course, early in that game, he got hit by a pitch while batting. Dealt with that ankle contusion. They said he could barely walk, but he refused to get taken out of the game. He'll face the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Isaac Hamilton leads it off. And with Hamilton at the plate, it's appropriate to review the story of tonight, which has been Louisiana's offense again. 3 runs in the 2nd, 6 runs in the 4th. They've had base runners in every inning. Missouri's had base runners in every inning but 1, but nothing to show for it. Last inning, Nick Lorio gunned down Jake Leitner at the plate.
Yeah, I think the tell of the tape, though, Evan, just like you said a minute ago, yesterday the bottom of the order didn't do much, and top of the order did it all, and now it's just complete reverse. So it tells you what type of team they have.
Strike 2 in there from Klein. Cook went 4 innings, allowed 3 hits, did not allow any runners to come across the plate though. Walked a couple, hit 1, struck out 4. And down goes Hamilton.
And you can see that fastball there by Stephen Klein. And it's funny in his delivery, he's kind of got a little pause as he comes down, but that fastball jumped on him and just above the belt there and swung through. He's got a little pause, Evan, when he picks his leg up and it's coming down. He'll to keep the hitter off balance.
Coming into the first game of this American Legion World Series, Danny Ream was quoted as saying, in terms of trying to get his team to play calm, he said, it's about eliminating the fear factor. He said, we can't let the atmosphere get too big for us. And he added that the light inside of our players has to be brighter than the lights that are being shined upon them.
That's a great quote right there.
And so far they have done that and then some. But the lights are going to get even brighter upon them as they go forward. And their stature emboldens.
Yes, it is. And but it don't look like these guys are afraid to have any pressure or, you know, play in front of crowds or
they also
play on
haven't
TV.
experienced much adversity yet.
Not yet, but we're waiting to see who's going to show them that adversity. You know, is somebody going to come out and be able to handle their hitters?
Tough pitch, spun over the outside corner to get Christian Hancock looking.
Yeah, and we saw his fastball on the batter before, and this looks like a curveball that he got come back over the plate looking.
That was filthy. Danny Ream told his team heading into the regional, look, we're not going to Tampa to just go to Tampa. Plan is to go to Tampa and then Shelby. That was the goal. And here they are. A 12-1 win in the opener yesterday and a 9-0 lead in the 5th inning tonight. This group from the Bayou looking strong in 2019 in North Carolina. And certainly this Missouri team, while they've been stymied tonight, they still have outs to work with, obviously, and they also have a fresh slate against a Danville, Illinois team that they're pretty familiar with. Alan Shepard of Danville, Illinois said that he was talking to the Festus coaching staff because they've gotten to know each other through the years, kind of learning about this Louisiana team a little bit. And Danville versus Festus will be for a spot in the semifinals, presuming Missouri does not rally back from 9 runs here.
Right.
2-out walk issued by Klein after back-to-back strikeouts began the inning. I'm not going to be here at the end of the week, Steve. Mike Gleason will be your partner down the stretch, but I'd be curious as you watch everybody play throughout the week to hear your opinion on a very important question. Which team has the best uniforms?
Very good question.
They're different styles, and I think I'd like to hear your favorite hat and your favorite top. And it can be different.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I'll give you that on air. You're going to be watching, right? So,
of course.
So that'll be something that Mike Gleason and I come up with. I'll get him to do the same.
One of the fun things about this event is seeing the different uniforms. And Danville, Illinois had like a Miami Hurricanes look with the green and orange. Obviously, the Louisiana team looks like a alternate St. Louis Cardinal jersey. I really like the Fargo, North Dakota hats.
Yes.
They look good.
And we'll have to get you a hat from that team and send it to you.
I would accept. Foul back to the screen. Fargo will be back on the field tomorrow to take on the Randolph County, North Carolina team. That is the second game of the day. Starting at 1 o'clock, Massachusetts and Idaho. This one popped up. Klein played first base, so he takes charge and he drops it, and that's a fair ball. Pop-ups continuing to flummox both sides.
And that's the second one tonight. Mr. Klein's dropped.
The umpires are coming together. I don't think there was any interference here.
No, they were looking to make sure that he was in, fair territory when he touched it or first touched it. And there was no doubt he was in fair territory.
From our vantage point, it looked pretty clear.
When it hit his glove, though, that it did look, it bounced right on the line, actually.
And now they have called the batter out.
And that's not what they were discussing, what we were trying to figure out.
It had to be something to do with interference in the way he ran past him, but that's a bewildering call. And it ends the last of the 5th inning. We'll make sense of it when we come back. The umpires with some explaining to do. 9-0. I've seen a little bit of everything tonight here in Shelby, North Carolina. A quirky way for that 5th inning to conclude. Louisiana maintains its 9-0 lead, and it was ruled interference because Jordan Duncan kind of changed his route to first base, and it interrupted the first baseman a bit.
Yeah, and right there is where the box begins, right there where Cook is now, and he kind of went into the grass, and maybe it pushed Cook away from the plate just a little bit, and that's why they have that box running down the first base line. But I don't know if I've ever seen that before. I guess that's why baseball is so crazy. You see something different every day.
Certainly a bizarre way for the Festus, Missouri team to lose their final at bat in the 5th. Stephen Klein obviously should have made the catch regardless, but he is saved in error because of the interference. 4 umpires came together and agreed that, and I think it's pretty clear, Duncan did change his route. He left that lane down the first base line onto the grass.
And I wonder who saw that. And who, did one of the other coaches ask for help on that?
And presumably the first base umpire, Darren Duncan, is not related to Jordan Duncan because he called him out on a fair call, but a tough call.
Yes.
So we go to the 6th. Lorio, Klein, and Franklin 3, 4, 5 do.
And, well, there's another one of the unwritten rules of baseball, and kind of thrown out of the book right there. 9-0 lead, and you're trying to bunt for a hit.
Leitner, the lefty, and swinging away, and Lorio pops it up near the second base bag. It's Duncan. It is going to be an interesting day and a half mentally for the Danville, Illinois team that won by slaughter rule today, and this Festus, Missouri team that is down 9-0. Different mindsets as Eversole takes to the bag to get Klein, 2 gone. They're playing a quarterfinal game, final game of pool play. Winner goes to the semis, loser is done. That'll be Sunday at 1 o'clock, and between now and then, you know, I'm not sure how much momentum is a thing in baseball. They always say it's related to the next day's starting pitcher, but they have a day to think about what they've done through their first couple of games.
Yeah, I mean, and, you know, being a 17, 18, 19-year-old kid, you know, more than likely sometimes it's stuff like that does bother you.
If you're Danville, will be trying to remember. They feel really good. Of course, they also got blasted by this Louisiana team. 12-1 yesterday. They scored 9-0.
You know, but as much as we talk about the Louisiana offense, they gave up 1 run in 12 innings. Is that correct? So 12 1/3, or 12 innings. 12
Yep.
innings. 12 innings. So pitching, top notch too.
McCord, Cook, and Klein have all been solid, slowing down this Festus, Missouri offense. The 2-2. Franklin takes, down and away. Franklin so far in this World Series is 3 for 5 with 6 runs batted in. And he rips another knock into left. This guy is just a pure hitter.
He hit that ball hard. Yeah, just a fastball right down the middle, and you can see he swung hard, and you can hear it jump off of that bat. It sounded different than.
A ringing single for Ron Franklin prolongs the 6th, brings up Colby McWilliams, who is the one guy in the lineup who's had a relatively tough day, trying to make amends, and that ball is going to be caught by Bridges. So Colby McWilliams is 0 for 4. He's lined out to center twice and grounded into 2 double plays, but his team's in front 9-0 as we head to the last of the 6th in North Carolina. You're watching the 2019 American League American Legion World Series, part of the Summer of Next, presented by Geico. The Stars Division, Destrehan, Louisiana. 6 defensive outs away from improving to 2-0. Festus and Danville getting set for a survival game on Sunday at 1 o'clock. Tomorrow we'll see Idaho Falls against Shrewsbury, Massachusetts, and then Randolph County against Fargo. Will Idaho and North Carolina improve to 2-0, or will that division get very complicated? Which is certainly possible, because Shrewsbury and Fargo both had their moments where they looked really strong. I think that division is very, very close, and we'll see tomorrow whether that prognostication comes to fruition.
Wow, some big words there.
Too big?
Too big for me, man.
I try to keep it to 3 syllables or less the rest of the way. Ebersold steps in from the right side. Defensively tonight, we have seen some nice examples of prestidigitation from both sides. Great dexterity going to their left and their right. There's some good center fielders.
Very good center field, very good shortstops.
Obviously, the defensive play of the day had to be what Nick Lorio did, that strike from center field to gun down Leitner at the dish. Keep Missouri off the scoreboard. Klein in his second inning of work misses high, and he's falling behind. Ebersold 3-1. Are you familiar with the concept of prestidigitation?
No.
It's a great broadcaster word. Try to throw it in there every few years. Swing and a miss, and the count now runs full on Ebersold.
Took a little off of that, and you know, you start looking at this now too. You know, he's at what, 23 pitches, and you know, what are they going to do with him? You know, are they going to let him go over 30, or technically they play tomorrow, right? And
Yep.
then they have Sunday off.
Yep.
So this may be his work getting ready for Monday.
Semis would be Monday.
It makes it fun, all the strategy with all the coaches and the pitches, and you know, I'm anxious to see what Ron Alexander does there with
Ebersold down, swinging for the first out in the 6th.
with his Idaho team, and seeing if he brings his pitcher out tomorrow to pitch. You see that fastball just the middle of the belt and up, and
Mir, that had some nice
swing
cut
right
to
through
it.
it. It had some cut to it. It looked like he dropped down a little bit from the side. And
Love a good cutter.
you know, and he's throwing the hitter off every time he picks his leg. If he comes down, he pauses. There was a guy by the name of Rob Nin.
Sure.
Remember Rob Nin? Rob Nin
course.
threw like 100, though. But Rob would hit his toe on the dirt before he actually, when his leg come up, it come down, it hit the dirt, and then he went forward.
Foul ball coming back our way. How many times in your career through the minors and the majors did you have a substantial tweak to your delivery mechanics?
Probably not really ever, I
Really?
guess. Yeah, I mean, I was big on repeating it over and over, and I got to where I could repeat it over and over. You know, every once in a while, if somebody fouled off a bunch of pitches and I got, you know, they saw 9, 10, 11 pitches or something like that, I would drop down real low and, you know, just throw something different at them. And for a big league hitter that's used to you throwing from one arm angle, it just completely throws them off and they don't even swing.
Looking for another strikeout, and Klein gets it as Ott goes down hacking. That's 4 strikeouts and 6 batters faced for Stephen Klein in relief of Corey Cook, who had 4 Ks in 4 innings.
Yeah, there we go with that fastball again, and they were just going up and away, and he hit his spot perfectly, and that one stayed straight.
The more I watch Klein throw, it's hard for me to fathom how he keeps his balance when he kind of stutters that left foot in the air. I guess that's his right foot.
Well, if you think about how Clayton Kershaw pitches, and Clayton Kershaw actually picks his leg up and does the same, and it comes down and he extends it out straight and then goes. And technically, that's exactly what he's doing. You can see here on the split screen, he gets there, he pauses, and
the bat goes flying onto the top of the Louisiana dugout.
And that's why we have the netting all the way down. I think that's always been this way. I was trying to remember since I've been coming here with the netting all the way down to protect the fans and the kids that come out.
Ball and a strike to Leitner, who's got his bat back. Stephen Klein began this game at first base. And you say the delivery reminds you of Kershaw.
Yeah, and you can see right here, we watch it again, and maybe not as high of a leg pickup, but when he comes down, he stops and goes on. And he's just doing that to try technically to just throw the hitter's timing off to get him out front. You know, if he would pause, you know, some guys now, Johnny Cueto's the one that kind of got everybody to start doing that and pause and go, you know, and it.
Pitchers are curious creatures.
Well, lefty pitchers are now. We talked about that yesterday with the hat. You know, does he have a crooked hat on? Let's see if we can get a picture of his hat there. Yeah, it's crooked. Look at that. See?
Maybe by a degree or two. Looks pretty straight.
Look, one eye's in the shadow. One.
I like you. I try to characterize all pitchers as crazy creatures, and you're like, well, lefties are a different animal.
They are.
I don't want to be lumped in with them.
I wish I was a lefty. I might still be pitching at 44.
3-2 to Leitner. And Stephen Klein strikes out the side. His mechanics are working for him. And Louisiana heading to the 7th, up by 9. Coming up tomorrow and Sunday here at the American Legion World Series. Triple headers both days beginning at 1 o'clock Eastern on ESPNU. Starting tomorrow with Idaho and Massachusetts, then North Carolina, North Dakota, Louisiana, and New Mexico will cap off the evening. We know right now that Missouri-Illinois game is looking like a huge one, and then the rubber games, hard to figure how the Massachusetts, North Dakota, North Carolina, Idaho Stripes division is going to settle out, but pool play continues Saturday and Sunday right here on ESPNU. Semifinals will be Monday. The championship game scheduled for Tuesday night on ESPN News. Levi Ebersold has moved to the pitcher's mound, and that creates a domino effect defensively. Jake Leitner to right field, and Chuck Pratt moves to first base. And Levi Ebersold, perhaps a future psychologist, will try to keep his team down by just the 9 here in the top half of the 7th. What theoretically would be good news usually is he's facing the 7, 8, 9 hitters, but trio has been hot today. And a pinch hitter leads off the inning. Goodlet swings to the first pitch, pops it up, and the new pitcher, who was formerly the first baseman, makes the clean catch. And on one pitch, we've got one out here in the 7th.
Yeah, and he's going to come in and he's going to throw. He throws a two-seam fastball, and that's pretty much what he got right there. Two-seam fastball in on the hands. Good job of throwing strike 1.
Dylan Weber, pinch hit for Cody Fonseca in the 5th. Stayed in the game to catch. Swings to the first pitch to shortstop, where Christian Hancock fires the first for the out.
Now here's the next one. How many pitches have been thrown? 2. 2 outs. Is he going to swing at the next pitch, the hitter? I say no. I say no, but it's happened to me 2 different times in my career where I get 3 pitches, 3 outs. The rule of thumb is you don't do it. Yeah, and he wasn't swinging for sure.
It's kind of a cat and mouse game though, because if you think he's not going to swing and you groove one, and then he does swing and bridges you. 4th pitch of the inning hits the number 9 hitter, Stephen Powers. Down to first he goes. TJ Thomas will be looking to get on base for the 4th time today, stepping in next.
And he didn't move at all, and just right below the kneecap. Didn't even phase him.
So here's Thomas. Strike 1.
And now I have a question for our stat man here in the booth. Let's see what he can find out. How many hit batsmen today, and what is the ALWS record for most hits batsmen in a game?
Well, there have been 4 hit batters by Missouri pitchers.
And how many by Louisiana? So it's 7 total.
7 total hit by pitches in 7 innings so far. Grounded to third. Martin just does get it there in time to retire the side. Stretch inning. Only 3 more outs remaining for Missouri, trailing by 9. Corey Cook got the start today for the Louisiana Pedal Valves Cardinals, and he came out firing. 4 strikeouts and 4 shutout innings. He set the tone for his team today, and he is our Who's Next star of the game, presented by Geico.
Yeah, and you can see his line right there. 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, and a good job on the mound today for Corey. And we were talking before we went to break total hits batted. I think the record, we found out the record is 8 in one game. So
the drama is palpable here in the bottom of the
it's
seventh.
It's not over yet, right?
No.
So.
In February, I was broadcasting ACC basketball, Wake Forest in North Carolina, and it was not a good day for the Demon Deacons. Top 5 Carolina team dominated. I think they jumped out 18-0, and they were up by 40-something late. But the entire game, Carolina had not made a free throw. So there was like 2 minutes to go in a 37-point game, and one of the walk-ons got fouled, and it was really dramatic. Would this be the first time in 100 and something years of North Carolina Tar Heel basketball that they went like 0 for 5 from the line of the game, and crisis was averted as the free throw went in, and all Tar Heel fans breathed a sigh of relief.
You know, and talking about basketball, our partner Mike Gleason, I wish we had some video of him playing in high school.
He was a superstar,
yeah,
sharpshooter.
Left-handed sharpshooter.
That ball driven deep down the left field line by Eddie Martin. If it stays fair, it's a goner.
And it is.
Hit the foul pole. It's a home run for Martin, and Missouri will not be shut out tonight.
And I think we thought that ball was going to hook foul.
And I got to correct myself and apologize. It was Connor Wilkinson pinch hitting who goes deep for Festus, Missouri.
Wow, it's a good way to come in. Pinch hitter off the bench and fastball in. But buddy, he kept it fair, and it was in too. And you can see it hit about 3/4 of the way off that foul pole. That's a big thrill coming in as a pinch hitter here in this World Series and hitting a home run.
They only need 8 more of those, and we'll be heading to the 8th. Another pinch hitter. This is Logan Warren, and he takes a strike from Klein. Cook went the first 4 innings. Klein trying to close it out. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock, Boston or I should say Shrewsbury, Massachusetts, and Idaho Falls, Idaho. I'll be alongside Gene Stevenson, and then our friend Mike Gleason, the sharpshooter, will be back for the rest of the day. Strike 3 called on Warren. He goes down looking for the first out in the 7th.
Yeah, and that's Stephen Klein's 6th strikeout of the night, and moving that fastball in and out. And you can see here the fastball on the outside part of the plate, and got him looking. A backward K. Yeah, I hope to have some video of our man Mike Gleason by tomorrow night playing basketball. That's going to be great.
Mike's been really good to me, so I don't want to make the joke about how it would certainly be all black and white, but Mike Gleason has been a mentor of mine ever since I met him about 13 years ago. And I realize I'm sitting in the chair of another mentor and an American Legion World Series broadcasting icon, Mike Hogwood, who passed away last September. Mike, we miss you. Really the story tonight, though, this Louisiana team 2 outs away from clinching the Stars pool. Jeremy Eisenman is the batter, and he chases a pitch upstairs for strike 3. That is 7 strikeouts for Stephen Klein. 2 2/3 innings.
And he's using that fastball and just elevating it and going away and down. And
coach says he's a veteran guy. Player who came back from last year. Been a clutch performer for them, and we're awaiting a hitter here, which presumably won't be Christian Hancock. Guy's getting a chance to swing. Replacing Hancock in the lineup, Brendan Smock is the starting pitcher yesterday, the Foxhole guy of the game for this Missouri squad. Got the Army-style helmet bestowed to him, and they don't award it after a loss, so he'll keep it heading towards Sunday. The Foxhole star of the game. Zach Bone's dad would talk about having a bunch of different Foxhole guys, and there was no prop at the time, but it was just a way of referring to guys you can depend on.
Guys that had your back, you know, and it was kind of cool. And you can see here Brandon putting that on, and that's cool. That's a real helmet that they got at an Army surplus store.
I didn't realize that chains went with it. That's cool. 0-2, and down goes Smock, and Louisiana. A standout performance from this Bayou baseball team. The first two games they win by a combined score of 21-2, and they will be the winners of the Stars division heading to the semifinals on Monday night here in Shelby. They got one more pool play game against Albuquerque, but with wins over Festus and Danville, they cannot be caught atop the Stars division.
Yeah, I mean, they come out just like yesterday, come out and they scored. They put another 9 runs on the board, and they've given up 2 runs in this whole tournament with pitching, and they're a solid team. Solid team, and Missouri just was not able to throw strikes and got behind today real early and just couldn't overcome it.
Congratulations to Destrehan, Louisiana, Pedal Valves Cardinals. Post 366, 2-0. The first 2-0 team at the 2019 American Legion World Series. Tomorrow, beginning at 1 o'clock Eastern on ESPNU, Idaho Falls and Shrewsbury, Massachusetts. For now, we say so long. Trevor Matich's college football tour coming up next. Steve Woodard, a pleasure.
I enjoyed it, Evan.
Evan Leffler saying so long from North Carolina, Louisiana, the big winner tonight.
For the last 10 years, in the early summer, I'd leave my home in Nashville and drive all around the country visiting college football programs to find out what they're doing and why and how. It's my own time and my own expense, but it's absolutely an adventure every time I do it, and I love it. This is one of the best offensive lines in all of college football right here at Oregon. In college football, the road always leads to Alabama. Just made it to Oklahoma.
I kind of want to try to break your arm.
That is evil. Here in Miami, the first thing you think of is defense. It's kind of vicious.
You try to take that boy head off.
You just got to run right through him.
Oh my God, did that just happen?
I miss this game, man. I've been driving across the country for over a decade now, visiting the top college football programs. And I'm amazed at what I find out by showing up. I've been from north to south and from sea to shining sea and everywhere in between. Let's see what we have in store for the 2019 tour. Here in Miami, the first thing you think of is defense. And they're led by a group of linebackers that are the most experienced, disruptive, and vicious in the nation.
The U's linebackers play together. They play so fast, and man, are they violent.
Shaq Quarterman, Mike Pinckney, Zach McLeod. As a group, how would you describe their impact on the field?
Pinckney is a prototypical Will. He's got such a great instinct for the game. Maybe the best player I've ever coached in terms of having great intelligence in terms of his preparation. Shaq Quarterman is as tough of a player as anyone I've ever coached. And Zach McLeod is sort of the secret assassin. As nice of a kid as I've ever seen off the field and on the field, maybe the hardest hitting kid we've had in this program the last 4 years. All 3 guys are different.
Zach, Mike, Shaq, I appreciate you guys being here. Let's take a look at some plays. Mostly, I'm laughing like crazy when I'm watching you guys play football because of the things you do to your opponents. Now, here's you, Zach. The center is going to pull around, going to block you. He's this big old massive offensive lineman. You're this little bitty linebacker, right?
A little bitty, I don't know about it.
He's got you covered up. But look what happens next. How do you get from this position
You
to
see
this
the arm
position?
Over. You see the arm over right there, huh? That's technique, baby. I was trying to get my hand anywhere on his chest after I brought it over and keep my outside arm free. That's the main thing that was keep my outside arm free.
Surratt, though, is going to be flipped over.
That's kind of vicious.
That's some WWE type stuff.
He runs upfield, so I have to come out of coverage. I'm the first responder coming from outside in. I couldn't get my near toe up how I wanted to, but I'm going to win the end of the play regardless. And any way we could be physical, we're going to make it happen.
You guys, it's fun to